team of minimum 10 divorcees, and to be fair, divorcees from both genders.
Yes.
They give their take, because right now we are stuck on charts and statistics, and the wreckage is somewhere in the bush. We don't even want to go near it. We are told the crash landed in Amboseli, and you are here at the Hilton drinking tea while studying some theoretical graphs here. You are not going to solve anything. So red pill and marriage probability is extremely low.
It's very low. It's very low. Thank you very much, Brad, for that. I think let's move on to the other days. And I think I want to look at what we discussed, I think, a little bit on Tuesday through to Wednesday.
Okay.
And, I think Tuesday also started off with the idea of pain for a man. What does pain mean for a man? We were also discussing the idea of do women understand a man's pain? Should men share their women their pain? You know, we were discussing some of those questions, the idea of pain, and also a little bit on, I think as we went into Wednesday, we spoke about spinning plates, but we'll come to that a little later. I think for now, let's discuss pain, the idea of pain for a man. What does it mean, pain?
Well, first off, to be clear, you are talking about non-physical pain, correct?
It could be both. Could be both, but yeah.
Because automatically, if it is physical pain,
yes.
if it is physical pain, it depends.
Yes.
Pain, those are your nervous system telling you that something is wrong.
Yes.
Or that's why I normally say in a matter of fitness, work with a professional. There may be pain during working out where your body is reacting to new frontiers. Like right now I'm in pain. I've been a bit lazy in my workout, so I'd stayed for a very long time without working out. So I resumed a day ago, and to some extent I feel sick. But I know this pain, this is my body now, that is an inertia of fitness. That now I know this is good pain. Means
it's
that
it's
good pain. But not
when you think about it, let me take a step back. As we discuss about pain, I think let's talk about the whole idea of struggle and challenges and obstacles that are bound to be, you know, in a man's journey. So when I think I'm putting all these things in the bucket that I'm
labeling.
Those are
beautiful things.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful. Those struggles, that is wonderful, because it is what strengthens you. If you do not go through that, if you do not go through any form of internal turmoil, my late grandmother used to ask, if you've gone for 4 years without any problem, ask yourself, when is the problem beginning? Because they'll be there one way or another, and they're there to strengthen you. Because imagine a life of 40 years without any form of challenge. And then the challenge comes when you are 50. How well equipped are you to face such a situation? Yeah. These are things that you should be embracing. And by facing a challenge, to some extent, that means somehow it's not always the situation, but chances are you've broken into a new frontier. Chances are you've gone into a new frontier. You've gone into a business that nobody's doing. So you've no research. You are the one actually. It's like you know those when you are at home, those footpaths that pass through bushes. There's someone who cut through it the first time. You can imagine what he went through.
Yeah.
You are walking through 2 very tall bushes, and you want to imagine some time back that was all bush. What did he go through? How much did he have to hack through? Because so those challenges you face, chances are you are facing them because you are breaking into new frontiers. You are breaking into new levels. We are breaking into new boundaries. Right? That is why, like a butterfly, when a butterfly is breaking out of the cocoon, that cocoon has to be hard so that it uses the strength to push itself out and strengthen its muscles. Because there's a time someone found a cocoon and the butterfly was struggling to come out. He spilled the cocoon using his own effort, and the butterfly came out weak because there was no exertion on its part.
Exactly.
So exertion is good for a man. So if you find you've gone through, like, let's say 20 to 15 years without any form of exertion, I'll be very scared of you. Very scared for you.
Yeah.
That's a
No,
crisis.
I mean, I'll give you an example. I remember in 2019, I was preparing to run the Standard Chartered Annual Marathon. Actually, initially, I think I was prepping for the Beyond Zero, the campaign that was run by the First Lady in Kenya. And I remember when I used to do rounds around where I used to live within the complex. So I remember every time I would run up to about 4 kilometers non-stop. But that's the point I would feel, totally exhausted, completely depleted. And I remember, I think one time I listened to, one of these Nike podcasts where somebody was saying, there's a barrier you need to break, and once you break it, it's like your body has been reset. Yeah. So I knew that I needed to hit that barrier that I had, which was go beyond the 4 kilometers. It seems like it was almost impossible. But I remember when I first ran my first 5 kilometer non-stop, it almost felt like I got a new boost of energy.
Yeah. That's a new form. Yeah. It's like I don't know. I really like leaning into technology, but I don't know, is it my weakness or whatnot? You can imagine when in the aviation sector, the first aeroplanes, then the aeroplanes in World War II and whatnot. Now we have planes with autopilot.
Yes.
Autopilot is a program, right? It's a software. Yeah. Imagine when those guys were writing the very first line of code for that autopilot program, how they felt. Let's say you are here, you now have, I don't know, I like Python or the Python or Java. This is now Andrew Mutua. This is your first line of code you are writing for Boeing autopilot program. Line 1, you like, hey, how far are we going?
Yes.
How far? Because this is going to be used in an aeroplane. Line, I don't know if you're going to write hello world or whatnot, but that line of code, and you know how many lines are waiting for you to be implemented. So that's a new barrier, and new barriers are crazy. New barrier, like the first time I left work, then for a few months, I was dabbling in data science, but inside my mind, my issue was motor vehicles. So the first time I'm sitting with someone, my co-founder, he has some experience. Me, what I have is simply passion and some bit of head knowledge, but I've never built anything. And what we were saying, that the line you've taken is what Mercedes started in 1940s or 1930s and something like that. You are starting now. How big is that barrier? Man. How big is that barrier?
It sounds like an insurmountable mountain. But that's until, I'm sure now you've gone way far ahead into that. Maybe there are things that you thought you couldn't overcome, but now you've gotten over those hurdles, and new problems have now presented themselves.
Actually, right now, what we can say is we've gone past the excitement stage.
Okay.
We are now in the head scratching stage. You can see I now have a bald head. We are deep in the business of scratching heads. But if you are scratching your head, that means you are deep in the process, and the barriers no longer, you may have a few sleepless nights here and there, but you are deep. You are no longer, you see, there's a difference between standing at the foot of the mountain and you are staring up and you said, man, as opposed to someone who is somewhere along the mountain, is now trying to negotiate. Now, do I grab here or do I, because if I do this, I'll slide down. So you are now at a point of no return. Before you've climbed the mountain, you have an option of turning back. So, wait, this is too much. But when you are there somewhere in between, you know very well, it's not like a staircase, so you will go downstairs. You let go, you come crashing down. So those barriers are there to strengthen you.
I agree.
If you tackle them, if you really tackle them, because they don't force you. It's not a forced thing. You had an option of not running for the marathon, right?
Yeah.
You had an option of saying no.
Let me ask you, because we live in a world where, pain is, or struggle, as in many ways been eliminated. All the creature comforts that we have all around us, you can live a very easy life.
Yes.
If you don't almost voluntarily seek out the pain, the pressure, the struggle. If you think, long ago, our ancestors, if they had to get food, they had to go out and hunt for that food. Yeah. We now have the privilege of just driving down to the local grocery store and we'll pile up our basket with a chicken, with a nice cut of meat and the like. But now all that, life has been made so good. We even now live in what I call a life of abstractions. I always give this example of what cloud computing has done. And I'm sorry for the audiences that might not relate, but when you think of what cloud computing has done is now if I need to spin up a server that will host an application, all I need to do is select the key specifications of that server. What capacity in terms of storage do I need? What kind of processing server do I need? What kind of memory do I need? And the like, what kind of operating system do I need? All that has been abstracted. Those that are coming into the industry now don't think of those things. Before we used to put, I remember when it was during the clone phase. Remember clone, when you make a clone machine?
Clone computer.
Put the pieces together. I think that the kids that are coming on board now probably don't know what makes up a hard disk, the spinning plates, that they don't understand what a memory chip is about. And it's because of this abstraction that we live in. And it does have certain advantages. Yes, it helps you probably cut down the process of, putting a machine together, installing the operating system, and then all the other components that all you need to do now is to think way ahead down the line, and you don't have to think of some of these low-level aspects.
You don't have to physically own a server, do you?
Exactly. But the low levels also are important because they help you understand how everything ties all together. So I think let me now drill down to my question. My question is, in this world of abundance, of prosperity, of life being so easy, in what ways do you seek out pain in your own life? Do you have examples that you could share? In what ways do you voluntarily seek to? Because as a man, I feel for you to have an appreciation of like the work you're doing now on e-mobility, this is a long-term gain for you, which in the immediate term probably has got no gains. You'll probably
in immediate terms, like in the immediate term, it looks crazy.
It looks crazy. Maybe your fellow age mates will be looking at you. They're all driving probably big SUVs. You have your little saloon car that you're driving, and they're asking you, babe,
you have to. Some days when you have to question your sanity. Said, am I really? Should I go for psychiatric evaluation? Because I've actually strayed so much from the normal path, but then the normal path is programming. So
Yeah,
what we call normally the programming. And if you don't know who's sitting behind that program, you don't know who's the coder there. So what we say is, as long as you are not breaking the law or infringing on someone else's rights, keep pushing, and you have to come to the stark realization that maybe it may be the next generation who will benefit from what you are doing.
I agree. And I think what you've mentioned is very good. So my question is to you, if you have examples. I know the work you're doing is real hard work, solving some of these problems that you're having. But in what other ways have you put pressure on yourself? Have you sought the pain, the struggle, the challenge?
If you have to talk of pain,
Yeah.
It was only that of this week and the other week I've been held up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a process. I don't know if there's a routine that I normally do at my place between. It's a 2-hour routine, 1.5 hours, 1 hour 35 minutes. And one day I took a friend of mine on that routine.
Yes.
He was actually pissed off. He said, "This is stupidity. This is just rubbish."
Yes.
It is related to my fitness goals.
Okay.
Every evening between 6 o'clock and 8 in the evening. Like today, when we slotted this meeting, I had to postpone it. I'll do it tomorrow. Okay. I walk 9 kilometers.
Okay.
It's a 9-kilometer walk, and the guy I took him on that walk is a footballer. So I was expecting that he'll actually consider it a literal walk in the park.
Yes, exactly.
The guy was cussing and really pissed off. So 9 kilometers, you either drive or you take a taxi or a boda.
Yes.
But I walk. I do walk.
9 kilometers, and I presume the places you guys are walking is almost a flat area. Is there?
No. I stay in Nati River, so the first turn you go over. It's not flat. See, it's what do you call it? A mixture of residential areas.
Yes.
What makes it very interesting, because there was a time I used to be very hard on myself on my walking speed. Then I remembered there are times you have to slow down. There are places you have to cross the road. There are 2 places where you cross a railway line. There's places where you have to actually stop completely to allow traffic to pass through. So if I do like 8 kilometers, because the app I use has a timer, if I clock 8 kilometers in 1 hour and 40 minutes, man, that is something. Who does 8 kilometers walking in Nairobi? If I told you to walk 8 on a daily basis, not something you prepare like a marathon, like Monday through to Friday.
So you do that? Is that the routine you do for every single day? Is it Monday through to Friday, or is 7 days?
No, Monday through to Friday. It depends. If for example, like recently I had some bit of pain on my ankles. So for that period, I'll do 8 kilometers. If it's 8 kilometer Monday to Friday. But if I have to reduce it to say 5 or 6, then it has to be 7 days, because target is 40 kilometers a week.
So is it 8 kilometers total, or is it one way 8 kilometers and another back?
It's a circuit. It's a walking circuit.
Okay. So it's a circuit. Oh, wow. I really like that. I mean, here in Rwanda, as you know, it's a very hilly place. That's why it's called the land of 1,000 hills.
Yeah.
I've joined a hiking group where every Saturday we hike, and we do on average between 15 to 20 kilometers walk at once. So we start off like sometimes we do about 10, 12, but 10, 12 is typically when we do what we call the city walks. The 50 plus hikes is when we go a little outside town and we'll go up a hill. So there's the hills, of course, they call them mountains here. And I mean, I'm surprised to hear footballer was struggling with 8 to 9 kilometers. I would have thought he's a little more fitter than that. And I would bet the terrain is not as bad as here. Here the inclines are a bit steep. You know, you could go out.
See, it's more of maybe he may be okay in stamina, but
Yes.
it's more of endurance.
Exactly.
It's endurance, because you are doing this knowing very well there are vehicles here, there are the borders, there are matatus to assist you to cover that route. But you've intentionally done it, and you are doing it every single day, Monday to Friday. So it's like I call it some sort of a transportation fast, because you're not using the usual modes of transport.
That kind, yeah. I mean, that's quite commendable, and for you to be consistent the Monday through to Friday, it takes a lot.
And
so
what really makes it me more appreciate it is that I walk alone. There's nobody to tell me, hey, it's time.
Yes.
So it's an aspect of discipline, because to handle what you'll call difficulty, you need discipline. Because there's nobody coming to my house with a stick to tell me, hey, Brian, it's time for the walk. No.
Yeah.
And also, if you can do workouts at home alone, use just tutorials, no one to push you. That is discipline. You are breaking barriers, because most of the time somebody will go to a gym because there's the presence of an instructor. Then there's the financial angle. You've blown away your 10,000 shillings. Man, I have to work for it. So that's it.
Great.